Fun together.
Fun, like.
Do we not have fun together?
Is that a trick question?
Okay, we don't.
There's no right answer.
We don't have fun together.
You guys are always laughing. It's great. It's great.
No, we're not.
You know, it wasn't shocking. These things happen. These things happen.
What can you tell us about what went wrong in the marriage?
I'll tell you that it wasn't some sensationalistic happening.
Infidelity.
No, absolutely not. Nothing sensationalistic.
It takes a lot to overcome. It takes a lot of strength to overcome those things in your life, baby. Everybody knows. We've all been through stuff like that, you know?
Yes.
I'm glad I have both of you to articulate what I'm thinking in my mind.
We got you. I like that.
Marc Anthony stayed silent for years about J-Lo and Diddy. At first, people thought he was just moving on with grace after the divorce. But now it seems something much deeper and darker was happening behind the scenes. Leaked information from the Diddy case suggests that Marc is now claiming J-Lo, and Diddy tried to silence him forever. He knew too much about their alleged secrets and wrongdoings. It feels less like a coincidence and more like a sinister warning. Think back to the time he mysteriously fell backstage. The timing was suspicious, and it happened not long before J-Lo and Diddy broke up. Marc had a front-row view to all the chaos. He saw the betrayal, the drama, and the truth unfold before his eyes. Now that the Diddy trial is intensifying, Marc is finally speaking up. Was he nearly taken out to protect the truth? Let us go back and revisit Marc and J-Lo's relationship. From the outside, it looked like a perfect match. Twins, red carpet appearances, and Latin music royalty. But underneath all the glamour, there was tension and pain. They started dating just after J-Lo's very public breakup with Diddy. It was too close, too quick, and it gave serious overlap vibes. People questioned how she went from a hip-hop mogul to a salsa king so fast the timing felt orchestrated and messy. Let us not forget J-Lo's growing collection of engagement rings. Even her first husband, Ojani Noah, came forward and claimed she was at Diddy's wild parties. He even said she appeared in one of those chilling videos. That is his word, of course, but it added fuel to the fire. The big question remains, why did Marc Anthony never speak up all these years? He smiled, stood beside her, and clapped like nothing ever happened. But maybe the truth was too dangerous to reveal back then.
What?
However, rumors began to spread that it was all just for the cameras. Behind closed doors, Marc was reportedly living in fear, not just emotional fear, but fear for his actual life, after that twisted 1999 nightclub incident, which we will talk about shortly. People started referring to her as Jenny with the Glock, but it was Marc, they say, who knew too much and stayed quiet for survival. Look closely at the relationship timeline again. J-Lo and Diddy broke up, and almost immediately she was with Marc. It was not just a sweet rom-com transition, there was real danger in the air. J-Lo stayed with Diddy even after their love faded, but when the legal storm began to erupt around him, she left. That 1999 nightclub shooting changed everything J-Lo could no longer tolerate. Diddy's gangster image that moment marked a major shift in her public and private life. What people are now beginning to realize is that her bond with Diddy may not have been entirely romantic. It seems more like a business relationship, more mentorship than love. Almost like the Clive Davis and Whitney Houston dynamic, but far more destructive. Diddy has a long habit of mentoring rising stars. From Justin Bieber to Mary J. Blige to Usher, and yes, even J-Lo. Interestingly, J-Lo was signed to Epic Records, a label controlled by Sony, and Sony also owned Bad Boy Entertainment, Diddy's label. Do you see the pattern now? The entire industry is one long pipeline, everything is connected, and sometimes that connection hides more than it reveals.
He was kind of like a mentor in a way, not mentor, but like guided me. He had a way of communicating that put it very plainly, like, don't do that, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. Don't forget, and I was smart enough to sponge up the things that
It does not sound like a lady remembering an old love interest. When J-Lo talks about her time with Diddy, she seems to describe a gatekeeper, a manager, and a supervisor. But somehow that mentoring relationship evolved into something else, something tangible and visible. Not to mention the iconic Versace
Jennifer,
dress
this is the
moment,
first time
which
in 5 or
changed
6 years that
everything.
I'm sure that nobody is looking at me.
People are now questioning if all of that was just public relations spin. They wonder if something far more sinister was happening behind the scenes. Marc Anthony was reportedly close to death when he learned about the alleged events during J-Lo's so-called mentorship with Diddy. During a play in Panama, Marc suffered a strange accident. He injured his back after falling downstairs backstage. Do not believe the official story that it was a simple mistake. According to sources, Diddy tried to remove Marc by sending his hitmen, but their plan failed. They wanted to make it look like a quiet, accidental mishap. However, Marc survived. By that time, rumors about Diddy were already spreading. Even before the lawsuits from Cassie and Lil Rod, Diddy's dark secrets were still hidden. Marc allegedly had evidence enough to imprison Puffy for life. And you know what J-Lo reportedly watched and allowed it to happen? Truthfully, you should not be shocked, because J-Lo would have avoided so much trouble if Marc had simply disappeared in an accident. No difficult divorce, no bitter custody battles, no risk of him revealing what he knew. The problem is, this is not the first time J-Lo allegedly watched Diddy mistreat people. Take Kim Porter, for example. She died in 2018, as many know. Since then, the internet has questioned the official cause of death, which was said to be pneumonia. Now that more victims are coming forward in this Diddy takedown, people are re-examining everything. Even Alb definitely said he does not believe the pneumonia story. He insists Kim did not die naturally. He plans to testify in the current case. And who supposed...
A lot of this stuff will be revealed because...
You have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely.
Rumor has it that back in the day, J-Lo was aware of Diddy touching Kim. She allegedly heard things, saw things, and did nothing about it. Since it was not happening to her, she kept silent. Did her share, gathered her money, and stayed safe and secure.
Straight up, talk to her crazy or anything around people. Never. I never even heard him raise his voice.
J-Lo is reportedly on the run at the moment. Rumor has it, she escaped to Bali just like Russell Simmons did when his problems began to catch up with him. Many believe she is evading subpoenas and possible testimony demands. She is being consumed by the internet. One comment even said, "Run to Bali, like Russell Simmons. You have no talent, J-Lo, so no one will miss you." But it gets more sinister when one of Diddy's alleged victims, Misha, speaks out in an interview. She says J-Lo actually saw Diddy doing terrible things to her. What did J-Lo do? Nothing at all. She stood there and let it happen without saying a word or moving a finger.
He did what he did to me, and then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy, and he was sitting there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. She stuck to me, and after that, my eyes were booked.
All along. Even more unsettling is the fact that J-Lo has publicly acknowledged having had an affair. She alluded to it in her works and mentioned it in interviews. She did not say who, though, but everything suggests it was Diddy.
To overcome those things in your life, baby. Everybody knows. We've all been through stuff like that.
Rumor has it that he was the one who injured her. It is said that Marc Anthony knew what was happening. Similar to how Cassie supposedly had that horrifying video, Marc apparently saw Diddy touching Jennifer and stayed silent. Maybe out of fear like everyone else who got too close. The public is now demanding answers. People are pleading with J-Lo to come forward and tell the truth, to stop being so evasive. Comments from fans include things like, if anything like what happened to Cassie happened to her, she needs to come clean. She needs to finally reveal what really happened in her relationship with Sean. The fact that J.Lo has not made a public statement speaks volumes. She is clearly trying to distance herself from the entire controversy. No radio silence, no PR spin, no mysterious Instagram posts. She is simply gone, trying to erase herself from Diddy's past. But the silence now screams louder than ever. Let us not forget the 1999 nightclub shooting. That may be the one event that truly seals the fate of the Diddy and J.Lo affair. If the rumors are true and the case is reopened for both of them, it's curtains. Everyone knows that Shine fell back then. He was a loyal soldier who did his duty for 10 years, did not turn on anyone, did not leak secrets. But let's be honest. The court not forgotten the betrayal Diddy and J.Lo committed when they abandoned him.
Not snitching, not getting your friends in trouble. Even today, I wouldn't want to do anything to get anyone.
Shine is out here now, saying that although he forgives Puff, they are not friends. He may not be seeking retribution, but the witnesses are a different matter altogether.
Bow, bow, bow. Next thing I know, me and this nigga on the floor, looking at each other. We like, oh, we like.
Natanya Rubin came forward about the night Sis was shot. She had gunshot fragments lodged in her face. Now that she's back in the spotlight, she is willing to have those fragments removed from her body to use as proof. The most outrageous claim is that J.Lo was present that night. She allegedly acted as Diddy's go-between. Before the police could connect anything to Diddy, J.Lo supposedly helped him hide the firearm and sneak it out in a bag.
Still has bullet fragments 2 inches from her spine. She has 2 children. She has her own business. What is she to do now?
I didn't suffer. I'm willing to have a doctor remove a part of the 9mm bullet in my face so that they can use it as evidence for this trial. And it may cost me my life, but that I'm willing.
Imagine what J.Lo might have unintentionally revealed during a private conversation with Marc Anthony. Even if only one person publicly speaks out, they all have a motive to keep Marc quiet. Supposedly, if he truly understands how everything transpired, how they allegedly planned it, covered it up, and then walked away clean. They worked hard to eliminate any traces from that time period, and now, pay close attention, this next part sounds like a legal thriller. Rumor has it that Diddy and J.Lo bought off witnesses and jurors to influence the initial trial money talks, and both were riding high on fame and fortune at the time. So they kept their hands clean while Shine was behind bars. There wasn't a spectacular performance in the courtroom. Who's to say?
To testify against Shine and say they saw Shine do the
This is the true jaw-dropper, though. Diddy and J.Lo allegedly had a covert secret marriage. Indeed, it was a discreet, legally binding Union 1 that prevented J.Lo from being coerced into testifying against him in court. Additionally, Marc has been holding on to a bombshell. If that marriage was never dissolved before her relationship with Marc Anthony, when that truth comes out, it will prove that J.Lo is unable to testify. The excuse she gave was a lie. The feds will move in so fast it will make everyone's head spin.
So,
it's a cover-up,
the
a ploy to protect both Diddy and herself.
On why she didn't testify at the trial on Diddy's behalf or anyone's behalf for that matter. Rumor has it they got secretly married. So
the twist that comes next may be the most outrageous of them all. There's another, perhaps more disturbing aspect of the split. Although it was reported that Ben Affleck divorced J.Lo after supposedly seeing some shocking recordings about her past with Diddy, rumor has it Ben wasn't just repulsed. He was allegedly afraid for his life. You see, Ben and J.Lo's divorce was surreptitiously finalized around the same time Diddy went to prison. Ben reportedly worried he might become a target too. If Diddy and J.Lo were involved in any nefarious activities, especially if J-Lo had confided in him during late-night pillow talks or private confessions. We've all seen what happens to those who get too close to Diddy. Ben allegedly feared hitters might be sent his way if things got messy, and he found out too much. We may never know if that part is true. There's no official proof that Ben feared for his life, but the timing, the silence, and the insider rumors all look very suspect. When you connect the dots, a dark picture emerges. It seems like Marc Anthony almost became another victim. Caught in the web Diddy and J-Lo supposedly spun because he knew too much and wasn't going to stay silent after all these years. Maybe he heard something. Maybe he saw something. Whatever it was, it made him a target because of what he was ready to reveal. I'm sharing this with you now because this story is too twisted not to discuss. So I want to hear what you think. Do you believe Marc Anthony's life was truly in jeopardy because he knew too much? Could J-Lo have been involved in Diddy's long-term cover-up? And is there a chance the infamous 1999 shooting will resurface and bring everything crashing down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.